man, Sean Stone Ramsey. I grew up in Oakland, California, born and raised in Oakland, California. I grew up in the 65th Village. My father was a construction worker, and he was in and out of my life. And at 12, he got killed on Seminary, and that was a block that we moved to in East Oakland. They call it the Kill Zone. We moved from 65th Village to Seminary. Well, Seminary is a street. There's something about that street, man, that just creates a lot of creativity, bro. I don't know what it is. It's something about that street, and it's also one of the main veins that take you to the Oakland Coliseum. So it's always a lot of traffic up and down that street, and that's where I started growing. That's where I grew up at. And my dad got killed, Preston Gordon. He got shot 7 times, execution style, on Seminary. So from then on, it was like I was like a cork in the ocean. I was just bobbing, wherever I was influenced. And the strongest influence was the streets. I definitely looked up to Felix Mitchell. He was the neighborhood superstar growing up in the village and on Seminary, because his family grew up, had houses on Seminary. So Seminary was just like a colonized part of the village, of 65th and 69th Village. So I grew up, idolizing him.
Judge Patel described Mitchell and his gang's actions in Oakland as, quote, some of the most despicable, heinous conduct any community has ever had to live with.
The Rolls Royces and the limousines, and he had the swag, and everybody in our neighborhood, wanted to be like him. I also grew up with Lil D. Reed. We the same age. We was in a kindergarten class together, and we grew up just real cool, because we both came from the village and moved on Seminary. So he was the brother that I came up with and was definitely influenced by. I work with artists like Mac Dre, Mac Mall, Drew Down, E40, the Luniz. They were real famous for their hit "I Got 5" on it. And I put out my own compilation that featured all those artists and many more. It was called International Blunt Funk, and it turned out to be a Bay Area hip-hop classic. Also had a group that I was managing called 3 Times Crazy, and one of the artists on there was Keek the Sneak, and he's the originator of the hyphy movement in the Bay Area right now. So working with those dudes right there, it connect me with a lot of other different artists in the Bay Area, and engineers and producers, and just a motley crew of people in the entertainment field. Oakland is like, it's the west that you can be when it comes to this country, and unless you go off to Hawaii and things like that. It's also like the cultural center for Northern California for us African Americans. A lot of great people came from there. Bill Russell, the great basketball player, Ricky Henderson, Andre Ward, the great boxer, Devin Haney, one of the up-and-coming boxers right now. I mean, it means many things, and we just have our own style. We're like one of the only cities that's this close to LA, and we don't have any Crips and Bloods in our city, because we still have the rhythms and vibrations of the Panthers within us. In that portion of the city, it was a lot of rappers there. So you had guys like Pooh Man. He had a gold record called Fucking with Dank. You had brothers like the Luniz that was down the street. So you had Too Short was coming in our neighborhood. Just all these legendary rappers, and so it was just a real popular hangout place to be. And so me being from Seminary and growing up in the street, as I started getting in the game, selling drugs and things like that, I just knew a lot of people. I was what you would call a connector. It wasn't too many people that I didn't know, and so I had one of my best friends was named Joseph the Gov Flowers. He decided he wanted to rap, and so he had an EP, and he had Tupac Shakur and Richie Rich on it, and so every time he went to go to do a show and things like that, he was like, "Stone, man, I want you to come with me." But I'm like, man, I'm stuck on the block. I'm trying to get this money. I'm not a rapper. I don't make no beats. This not me. This is my lane right here. And so one day he came with Tupac and Rich. He's like, "Man, Stone, hit the corner with me." And so I jumped in the car with him, and he just drove to LA, and we went on the show. And when I got to the show, even though I was mad because I was damn near kidnapped, I fell in love with hip hop, right then and there, by being able to interact with different people. And by me not being a rapper, I wasn't competition to the rappers or the producers or nothing like that. I was just a dude, with some common sense, who was sharp and had a little bit of money, and I wasn't in nobody's way. And so learning the business from there, I would go to different shows and I would make different contacts. So when Gov caught a Fed case, he got indicted by the feds with his brother Anthony Flowers. He called me and he asked me, he said, "Stone, man, you know everybody I know, and why don't you help me finish the album?" And so that's what I did. And so by me knowing all those contacts like that, it just evolved from there. Right, we were selling a lot of coke. We were selling keys of coke, and we definitely had the city on lock, And when Lil D took his fall, the streets was wide open, and so seminary was wide open, and so what we did is we did what we had to do as a young man. We had to go for what we knew, and that's what we was doing. I don't really like talking about it, but this was going on. When you young like that, and everybody around you selling drugs and you making money like that, you don't have no conscience. You think this is what you're supposed to be doing. But when I made the transition from selling drugs to hip hop, I knew that was my calling. I knew when I sold dope, it wasn't to be the baddest motherfucker on the block, or I knew it wasn't gonna be my life. I did this. This was a transition period for me, and at the time, being in the game, you wanted to be in the game, but you already knew that this wasn't gonna be forever. Unprecedented time, right? Because it was never before. You got some young dudes that got some money from the streets, money from the crack gang. We don't got no big homeboys to tell us what to do with our money, and we ain't got no big homeboys that ever had a record label. So we just was like, we had hands-on knowledge, and we didn't have no skill set. We just like, we had these talented people, talented young cats, but we really didn't know what to do. But we knew how to sell dope, and the music game was just like the dope game, and so that's how we merged into it. When I merged into the rap game, I left the dope game alone. At least we tried to, but it's kind of hard because you still stuck in the streets, and the genre that you pushing is talking about the streets. So if you're gonna be authentic, you really gotta be about that life. It was a transition, but it wasn't. When Gov went to the feds, him and his brother, he got out on ankle monitor, and while he was on ankle monitor fighting the case, we started a rap label called Handlebar Records, and the name of our cadre was called Paraphernalia to the Mob, and it consisted of 3 Times Crazy, which was Bart, Adrian, and Keek the Sneak, the Luniz, Yuckmouth, and Numbskull, Drew Down, and Sido, T Looney and Eclipse, and Swoop G. He was a member of the Dog Pound. He was rapping with Death Row. So we all was one one group. They were signed to 5 different labels. East West Electric, Siler was signed to East West Electric. The Luniz was signed to New Tribe. 3 Times Crazy was signed to New Tribe. Drew Down was signed to Relativity Records. And my compilation was signed to In a Minute Records, which was home to Master P and E40 and Too Short's first album. So we had all this talent, you know, in one nucleus, in one conglomerate, you know. And so everybody in the Bay Area, you know, wanted to, you know, be a part of this movement. Or they wanted somebody from our clique to write, somebody from our clique to do a verse, you know, or something like that. So they were coveted.